Israel's rejection brought salvation to the world, brought salvation to the Gentiles. So Deuteronomy 32:21. Again, this is repeating. We looked at this earlier. This is God speaking to Moses. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy and provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. And so Paul explains this in Romans 11. I say then, have they, Israel, stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles, for to provoke them to jealousy. And so God knew all along what they would do, and he all along had it just perfectly set up. He had it all perfectly set up. So blindness in part has happened to Israel until the fullness of the Gentiles come in. So until, I believe that's the rapture, until the fullness of the Gentiles are in, Israel is blinded in part. But one day that blindness is going to fall off, just like the scales fell off from Paul's eyes. Jesus came to Israel knowing that they would reject him. His purpose during his first advent was to be the sacrifice that provided a way, not just for Israel, but for all mankind. And so he knew that they would reject him, but he knew that that rejection would open up and everyone would end up being reconciled one day. So Jesus gave us a glimpse of what he would do at his first miracle. This first miracle was turning water to wine at a wedding. And Jesus turns 6 pots of water into wine. And 6 is the number of man. And man is also 60% water. I just think that's pretty cool. So in John 15, Jesus relates believers to his vineyard. Jesus is the vine, and we are the branches, putting forth his fruit. Jesus explained in this metaphor when he explained the Pharisees how they had misused their opportunity. And so here, and Jesus said, I am the vine. My Father is the vine dresser. And we being part of God's vineyard, God shapes us and we put forth fruit, not because of us, but because we are abiding, we are in the vine. So Matthew 21:33 through 43, hear another parable. There was a master of a house who planted a vineyard and put a fence around it and dug a winepress in it and built a tower and leased it to tenants and went into another country. When the season for fruit drew near, he sent his servants to the tenants to get the fruit. And the tenants took his servants and beat one, killed another, and stoned another. Again, he sent other servants, more than the first, and they did the same to them. Then he finally sent his son to them, saying, they will respect my son. But when the tenants saw the son, they said to themselves, this is the heir. Come, let us kill him and have his inheritance. And they took him and threw him out of the vineyard and killed him. When therefore the owner of the vineyard comes, what will he do to those tenants? And they said to him, he would put out those wretches to a miserable death and let out the vineyard to other tenants who will give him the fruits of their seasons. And Jesus said to them, have you never read the scriptures? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. This is what the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Therefore, I tell you, the kingdom of God will be taken away from you and given to a people producing its fruits. And that's exactly what God did. He took the fruit, he took the vineyard from Israel, and he gave it to the Gentiles. Now he will return it to Israel. Israel's going to have all the promises that he promised them. But for the past 2,000 years, we have been caring for this vineyard. The foolish nation from Romans 11, the Gentiles, was given the vineyard. We have been working the vineyard all this time. In Matthew 20, Jesus shares another parable about his servants working in his vineyard. And so Jesus's first miracle was turning water into wine at a wedding. And our bodies are, again, about 60% water. Jesus said you can't put new wine in old wineskins. And this is pretty cool too, because when do you put new wine in new wineskins? It would be at the time of new wine. And so this is Matthew 9:17, neither do men pour new wine into old wineskins. If they do, the skins will burst. The wine will spill and the wineskins will be ruined. Instead, they pour new wine into new wineskins, and both are preserved. And so here, it's interesting to look at this because we are new wine. We are the first fruit of the wine, and we are about to get new wineskins. You know, it's Jesus here. Paul said, this corruptible will put on incorruption. You know, at the rapture, we are going to be changed in the twinkling of an eye, in a moment. We're going to put on new wineskins. And how awesome is that? And I also heard, I think it was Barry All that was explaining this, and I thought it was a really cool explanation. He said, you know, the law and grace, they don't mix. It's like trying to put old wine in a new wineskin, or trying to put new wine in an old wineskin. You can't put grace into the law, because you ruin both. Because grace is Jesus did it all. And when you try to mix them, you ruin both. And I thought that was a neat illustration as well. So you have this picture here of Jesus saying you can't put the new wine in old wineskins. We have to have new wineskins. He also said that he won't drink of the vine again until we're with him in his Father's kingdom. So Matthew 26:29, but I say to you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it anew with you in my Father's kingdom. And so there again, we have this picture of the wine, not drinking the new wine, not drinking of the fruit of the cup until he's with us.